Assalamu alaikum. This is a recorded lecture, media lecture. Okay. Discourse analysis and text linguistics. And I hope that it will work well, turn out well. I think this should be available for the two groups, group 55 and group 56. So I would rather go back a little bit here. Yes, here. So when we were in one group, we would cover a little bit more than this, but let me just remind you here. Ethnography, this part, ethnography of speaking. Okay. Ethnography of speaking. We talked about the definition, and then when we said that there are some components, here of course the definition of ethnography in this slot here, this part I mean. Here this part, the definition, you can see that, and the components, here the components of a speech event. Components of speech event. And we said there are several components of a speech event. Here there are 7 of them. See, 7 types of component or factor. Okay, this is the first. This one here. The first component. Okay, setting or scene, it is definition, and then the participant. Okay, then ends, definition, act sequence, and key, instrumentalities, norms, and gender. Okay, so these are the components, and we have already talked about them. Just, you know, I would always like to start a little bit, not from the last point we stood at, but a little bit come from, remind you with what was before that point. Then the next unit here, that is a grammatical cohesion. Here, grammatical cohesion. Alright, and here we said, I have already talked about this in one of the groups. Already these were discussed, but again, no problem. Can talk about them one more time, because this will be for both of the groups. So first we have to know what is meant by grammatical cohesion. What is it? What is grammatical cohesion? And then the types of devices, the types of grammatical devices used to achieve grammatical cohesion, which are Number one, we have reference, which is divided into three types. We have three types of reference: personal reference, demonstrative reference, and the third is comparative reference. Then the second grammatical device used for grammatical or to achieve grammatical cohesion, that is substitution. Okay, and then the third, ellipsis, and then we have identification. After that, conjunction, where in conjunction we have also three types. There are three types of conjunction: additive conjunction, adversative conjunction, and temporal conjunction. Okay, so we'll talk about all of them in some details. Now, grammatical cohesion. This is the definition of grammatical cohesion. Okay. Until here. Okay. So grammatical cohesion is a means of creating links between sentences in a text through the use of the grammatical resources of the language. Okay. Now, grammatical resources or grammatical devices that are used to achieve grammatical cohesion, we have the following. These devices: reference, substitution, identification, conjunction, and ellipsis. Alright, now the first of these devices, that is reference. Okay, it is definition of reference: grammatical device commonly used for cohesion in text. This is not all about reference. Okay, that is a definition, but we should remember that reference is signified through the use of pronouns. Okay, pronouns such as what? Personal pronouns such as he, she, etc. Or comparative pronouns: this, those, that, these. Okay, so when you have use of pronouns such as these pronouns, then there is a signal that we have some reference. Okay, that there is use of reference. Alright, now as reference is concerned, it has, or there are two types of reference. There are two types of reference. What are they? They are these two types. Number one, we have what is called endophoric or textual reference. Endophoric or textual. Textual, if you look at textual, it starts with text. Okay, textual, that is the adjective of the word text. Okay, the adjective of the word text. So we have text as a noun, and textual is the adjective. So this is related to the text, okay? Therefore, it is called textual reference, or it may be called endophoric reference, okay? Endophoric reference. The second type, that is exophoric reference, or it may be called situational or contextual. So context, we have the word context, noun, and contextual, adjective. So this is something connected or related to the text, to the context or the situation. Now we'll see what, in more details. We'll find out why the first type is called the endophoric reference, is called textual, whereas the exophoric reference is also called contextual. Why? We'll come to know. Alright, now the endophoric reference, which is also known as textual, it is definition. What is the definition? Simple. A kind of reference that is within the text. A kind of reference within the text. You see, that is why it may be called textual. See, text, then wow, textual. Okay, so it is found within the text. Found within the text. We can find the reference within the text, inside the text. Okay, now this reference, this particular reference, endophoric or textual reference, endophoric or textual, this reference is divided into two types. Okay, now what does it mean to be, the endophoric reference? We say it is a kind of reference that is within the text. What does that mean? It means that we can find the referent, or what the reference refers to, the referent, we can find it where? Within the text. Okay, so textual reference, this is the definition of textual reference. Yeah, okay, what does that mean? It means that we can find the referent where we can find the referent within the text, inside the text. Okay, all right. Now this particular reference, endophoric, is divided into what? Two types. You see, two types. First, we have anaphoric reference, and the second, that is cataphoric reference. Anaphoric and then cataphoric. What are these? There are two types, the two types of endophoric reference. Okay, so if we do this here, then we can say like this. Okay, here the two types of what? Which reference? Of endophoric or that is textual. Okay, two types of endophoric or textual reference. Then, what are they? What are those two types? What are the two types of endophoric or textual reference? What are the two types of endophoric or textual reference? The answer, they are anaphoric reference and the other one cataphoric reference. Okay, now let's see what is meant by these two types. First, anaphoric reference. What is anaphoric reference? Simple definition. Anaphoric reference is a reference whose referent precedes it. A reference, the anaphoric reference, whose referent precedes it. Precedes يعني comes before it. The reference in an anaphoric reference comes before the referent. Okay, and of course the reference as well as the referent, they are also found within the text. Why? Because actually these anaphoric and cataphoric, after all, they are endophoric reference. They are types of endophoric reference. Alright? Now example, if you look at this example, okay, here we have this example here. Okay, example 3.1. The man came yesterday, but he did not meet me. Now, when ما نشوف في ضمائر like he, she, they, we, us, we should know that there is a reference, and this reference is of course endophoric or textual, because we said here this reference, we said it is signified. Where's that? Yeah, this reference, that is, here we are talking about reference, and it is signified by the use of what? Pronouns. Remember? Okay, by the use of pronouns. Right? Look at this. See? By the use of pronouns. So when we see pronouns, that is a hint or a signal that we have reference. Okay, so here in this example 3.1, in this example, the man came yesterday, but he didn't meet me. Right? So we have, as you can see, we have pronoun here and we have pronoun here. Okay, two pronouns. Now to look at, that means there is a reference. Since we have pronouns, that means there is a reference. This is a reference. Okay, so the reference in this sentence is here. this pronoun is the reference. Okay, what does it refer to, this pronoun? What does it refer to? It refers to this, the man. Okay, so this pronoun refers back to the noun, the man. Okay, now as you can see, the referent, this comes before, it precedes the reference. This is, the pronoun is called reference. هذا بنسميه reference وهذا بنسميه referent. مين اللي اجى بالاول؟ reference or referent? Of course, the reference. So when we have the reference or the referent preceding the referent, that means, see, kind of reference that is within the text. And here, anaphoric, the anaphoric is a reference whose referent precedes it. So the referent, this, the man, the noun, comes before or precedes the reference. Therefore, this type of reference is what? What is it? Anaphoric. Okay, this is anaphoric reference. Okay. Okay, now we have a second example here. Example 3.2. In this example, also this is example on what? On anaphoric. As you here remember that we have anaphoric and cataphoric. Both of them are types of endophoric or textual reference. Okay. Now the second example, he walked into the room. See, now the first word, this is a pronoun like this here in the first example, example 3.1. pronoun يعني reference. ففورا عرفنا انه الريفرنس اجى في البداية. What does that mean? That means that this example is different from this example list. It's not the same. Here the pronoun, the noun came first, then we have the pronoun, that means the referent, then the reference. Here we have the pronoun at the beginning, that is the reference. Now the reference, when we have the reference at the beginning, that is what? Example of cataphoric. Cataphoric reference, not anaphoric. What is cataphoric reference? It is when the referent precedes the reference. Okay? Alright? When the reference, not the referent. This should be the opposite. When the reference precedes the referent, that is in cataphoric. This is reference. هذا غلط لازم. When the reference precedes the referent. The reference precedes the referent. The opposite of this. Here and this, the reference or the referent precedes the reference. Alright, so here we have first at the beginning we have pronoun. He walked into the room looking haggard, etc. Blah blah. Now we do not know. This is the first sentence. Until here, this is the first sentence. We will say he walked into the room looking haggard. What does this pronoun he? What does it refer to? One, even after reading the first sentence, we still do not know what does the pronoun he refer to. It is not mentioned. Okay, not yet. Then the man stood by the door to my living room and I was wondering who he was. Still, we have the same pronoun here, he, but still we do not know what does this pronoun refer to. And then his luck was expressionless. Again, we have the pronoun his. Okay, his luck refers to whom? But we still don't know. Alright, so his luck was expressionless, so I kept looking at him. Again, him, we still don't know what does this pronoun refer to. I later beckoned to him. Again, we have another pronoun here, him, which we still do not know what does it refer to. So I later beckoned to him to come in. It took me some time to recognize. Now here, this, as you see, this here, this is the referent, Mr. Adams. Mr. Adams. So these pronouns, he and then he again, him, his, him, all of them refer to this noun, Mr. Adams. Now, the referent here, in this case, these pronouns are reference, all of them. They all refer to the noun Mr. Adams, which is the referent. So here we have the referent coming after the reference, not before it. It is the opposite of the first type. It is the opposite. Cataphoric reference is the opposite of anaphoric reference. Okay? So now we know what do these pronouns refer to. But much later I was able to identify some of his old features that I used to know when we were teachers at blah blah, etc. Okay? So here, this example 3.2 is an example on cataphoric reference. اوكي، بيجي عندنا اللي هو الريفرنس اللي هم الضمائر، وبعد الضمير ممكن يكون بعده جملة بجملتين أو يمكن يكون بعده بنفس الجملة، مو شرط يكون في بعديه بمسافة طويلة، ممكن يكون في نفس الجملة بس هو في النهاية بيكون بعد الضمير، بعد الريفرنس. بيجي عندنا ايش؟ the referent or the pronoun here, the referent. So in that case that is a cataphoric reference. Okay. Now the second type of reference that is not endophoric. We have endophoric, and the second type is exophoric. This type, exophoric reference. Okay, what is it? A reference to the context or situation and not any element within the text. Okay, so exophoric reference definition. This is the definition, sorry. I mean this. This is the definition of what? Of exophoric reference. That's reference. Okay, so exophoric reference, what is it? Is a reference to the context or situation and not only element within the text. That means the element is not found within the text, it is in the context. نعرفه من خلال السياق. Okay, ما هو موجود في النص. Let's see the example. This example 3.3. Okay, will you come here and let me have that? Okay, so we have here, we have pronouns. Look, we have pronouns like you, yeah, okay, and even this, that is here. When we say me, and even this, which is a demonstrative reference here, demonstrative pronoun, that. Okay, now these are pronouns, but what do they refer to? So when you say will you, ما في عندنا اسم هنا في العبارة في الجملة هذه. على ايش بتعود you? This pronoun you, what does it refer to? مش عارفين، مش مذكور في النص. مين انت؟ مين يعني؟ ايش من هو الشخص هذا؟ لما يحكي مين مش عارفين مين. have that، ايش هو that؟ ايش هو ذلك الشيء اللي يبغاه؟ مو عارفين. اذا هذا الريفرنت حقهم ما هو موجود. هذه pronouns, they are references, but their reference are not found in the text. But we can know the reference. How? We can know the reference from the situation or the context. From the context or situation. Okay? حسب المخاطب، مين الوضع، مين الحالة، السياق مع مين. يعني مثلا إذا واحد بيقول ابنه اسمه مثلا أحمد، ومعاه أحمد مثلا ماسك في يده مثلا كتاب، أوكي، وبيحكي العبارة هذه، بيقول له will you come here and let me have that. هنا في الحالة هذه، في السياق هذا، will you هنا refers to the son أحمد. come here and let me refers to the father. okay, that refers to what? الكتاب اللي بيد الولد. okay, هذه الأشياء ما هي مذكورة هنا، لكن ممكن نقدر نعرفها من خلال السياق or the situation. okay, but they are not mentioned in the text, therefore they are not called textual, but this exophoric reference is called contextual or situational reference. okay, now there are, so these are, according, these are, here we want to sum up, we have here two types of reference. okay, two types, categories of reference. We have endophoric or textual reference. This is one type, and the second type is exophoric or situational contextual reference. Okay, now where's the free line? This is number 1 and this is number 2. Okay, 2 types. Now number 1, it has 2 types. This, which is the endophoric reference, it has 2 types. What are they? They are these. Okay, here. These are the 2 types of endophoric reference. Okay, واضح؟ اتلخبط. Okay. All right. I hope you follow. Now, that was some categorization of references. Now, there's another way of categorizing or recognizing reference that is done by 2 persons, Halliday and Hassan, in 1976. Now, according to Halliday and Hassan, the types of reference, they have 3 types. They say or talk of 3 types of reference. What are the 3 types of reference according to them? They are as follows. First, we have personal reference. Okay, and according to them again, Halliday and Hassan, we have demonstrative reference, and the third type of reference according to Halliday and Hassan is comparative reference. Okay, now we'll talk about each of these 3 types of references. Okay, so the first one, which is personal reference, this one, personal reference, this is defined by its function in the speech situation. Let's have an example. Now, personal reference, remember that when we talk about personal reference, that means there is use of personal pronouns. Okay? We must use personal pronouns. Okay? So, we can say in personal reference, there is personal pronouns. Okay, now personal pronouns like what? Personal pronouns like what? Personal pronouns such as what? Personal pronouns like he, she, they, we, it, us, has, her, and. Okay, all of these, etc. All of them are personal pronouns. So when we have a sentence in which there is any of these pronouns are used, what does that mean? That means there is a use of reference. What type of reference? Personal reference. Why do we call it personal reference? Because there is a use of personal pronouns. Okay? Is that clear? Yes? Right? واضح؟ أرجو أن يكون واضح. تمام؟ Okay, now let's look at the examples. Okay? Examples. This first example, 3-4. The guests just returned from the party. They are all very tired. Okay? Now, حتى نشوف إنه في reference or not. نشوف أول شيء نسأل هل في pronouns؟ هل يوجد عندنا في الجملة أو في النص هذا pronouns؟ Let's find out. The girls just returned from the party. They, so we have a pronoun here. This. Okay, we have pronoun. What does that mean? That means there is a reference. بس يكون في عنا pronoun نعرف إنه في استخدام للريفرنس. طيب إيش نوع الريفرنس؟ حتى نجاوب إيش نوع الريفرنس نسأل إيش نوع البروناون. Now this pronoun they موجود وين؟ ضمن personal pronouns. So since this is a personal pronoun, that means the reference is a personal reference. Okay? صار عندنا personal reference. واضح؟ So this is example on personal reference. Okay. Now هلا هذا personal. لو نبغى نسأل is this personal reference? Is it anaphoric? Sorry, is it, I mean here, back here, is it an endophoric textual reference or is it an exophoric reference? Is it endophoric? That means textual, or exophoric? هل هو textual reference or contextual reference? Endophoric or exophoric? The answer, this is endophoric. Endophoric textual reference. Textual, why? Because the referent, this pronoun they, what does it refer to? It refers back to the girls. Okay, so the referent is already there, it is within the text. Since it is within the text, then we call this reference a textual or endophoric reference. Okay, textual endophoric reference. Another question. Now, in textual reference, we have two types, which are anaphoric and cataphoric. Now, this example 3-4, is it anaphoric or cataphoric? Is the reference here, or is the endophoric textual reference in example 3-4? Is it anaphoric reference or cataphoric reference? The answer is It is anaphoric. Why? Because the referent, the referent comes before the reference. Okay? I'll repeat. Here, you see, this was that. Sorry, go back. Yeah, here I want to say this here. What is this? This is the referent. Okay, and this is reference. Okay, now مين اللي بيجي بالأول؟ reference or referent؟ referent. therefore شو بنسميه هذا؟ بنسميه anaphoric or cataphoric. So this is an anaphoric reference. Okay. واضح؟ Okay. Okay, another example that is 3.5. Second example, my father is a consultant to many oil companies in Nigeria. He'll be returning from Denmark where he went to represent one of his clients. أول سؤال حتى نشوف في ريفرنس ولا لا، هل في استخدام للضمائر أم لا؟ نشوف. My father is a consultant to many oil companies in Nigeria. He, so هذا عندنا هنا ضمير. This is the first pronoun. Okay, where again same pronoun is repeated. Okay, too many what? Present one of his, another pronoun. So we have personal pronouns. These pronouns are personal, therefore this reference is personal. Now, where is the referent? The referent هذولا he وher وهنا he الثانية. his على مين بيعودوا؟ They refer back to this, my father. عرفنا؟ This it refers, that means the pronoun he here the pronoun he, it refers back to what? To my father. It refers back to the noun my father. Again, this he, oops, sorry, this again it refers to my father, and again this is, come on, this. Yeah. Okay. So his also refers back to the noun my father. واضح؟ Okay. Now next, third example. Example 3.6. Bola, noun, اسم. Bola just came back from the youth camp. I saw her yesterday. Where are the pronouns? This is one pronoun. I. Delete this. This is pronoun. And we have one more pronoun. Okay. Now see. Paula just came back from the youth camp. I, pronoun. Saw her yesterday. Her, what does it refer to? It refers to here, this noun. What is this noun? Paula. اسم واحدة. That is the referent. Okay. This is the referent. Okay. And this, the pronoun her, refers back to Paula. Okay. Now I, we have the pronoun I, personal pronoun here, but what does it refer to? This pronoun, it refers to someone, but that someone is not within the text. مش موجود، مش معروف لمين. المتكلم مين هو؟ علي، جون، ريتشارد، مايكل. We don't know. So it refers to something that is not in the text. It is, we can understand from the context when we are there. Okay. So I هنا هي عبارة عن reference for a reference that is not within the text, but can be understood from the context. That means it is a reference or as example of contextual or situational reference. Okay, so that is about personal reference. واضح؟ إن شاء الله يكون واضح. Okay, so let's stop here at demonstrative reference. لأنه خلينا نوقف هنا لأنه تقريبا صار الزمن ساعة. ما أبغى أطول الزمن وقت المحاضرة عشان يكون عندنا سهولة في يكون عندي أقدر أعملها أبلودينج على النظام، ما يكون زمنها طويل وممكن تغلبني، فأخليها شوية أقصر. لازم تكون حتى أقل من كده so that I can upload on Jump. Okay, so I'll stop here. Okay, I hope you got the points. I'll stop here. Okay, زين. أرجو أن تكونوا فهمتوا الشرح.